All right. Welcome back, fellow TFFL owners, to your weekly TFFL webcast, perhaps somewhat weekly now going forward, because it is Tuesday, August 24th. Rich, by my count, and we'll get to the commissioner's segment here shortly, but by my count, I think we are 10 days away now from our keeper deadline, 16 days away from draft weekend, 18 days until the TFFL draft. So, yeah, we're here. We're here. It's the 2021 TFFL season. I don't know if we've really addressed this yet. This is our 25th anniversary season, guys.
Get out.
Wow. Do the math with me on this real quick.
25?
I trust you.
Our 25th modern era season, starting with 1997.
Wow.
What is somebody who's hit 20? Rich, you're not at 25 yet. What is that, silver?
For what? This year is my 25th anniversary coming up. I got married in 1997, and there you go. 25 years is in May.
Wow.
Yeah,
May of 2022. There you go.
Yeah. Next year will be 2025th, right?
Yeah. Next, meaning coming up is 25th. I'm in my.
Wait a second.
But this is our 25th season.
Yes.
Right now.
Yeah.
Right now. It's starting. We're about to start our
Exactly.
25th season.
Exactly.
That
We'll crown our 25th champion.
That's right.
How about that?
How about
Crazy.
it? It has been 25 years since the K-Wheels won the Pac Bowl. This All right. Carry on.
Wow. And yeah, congratulations, Berkmans.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
How about that? Anyway, so
We still got to make it to 25. There's still time.
Every day is a struggle.
and we've still got we still have 18 days until our draft, and so we still got to make it to the start of our 25th season. But
right.
So beyond all that, obviously we're kicking off the season now. There's trade talk happening. We got keeper decisions to make. Even before we got to today, I felt like we had a lot of news to talk about, and then we had kind of the biggest headline of all over the past few weeks, the Travis Etienne news. We'll get to all that shortly. Let's get our panel intros out of the way, and then we've got hopefully a TFFL trivia question from Chief. A lot of panel intros to cover here. Let's start actually with Chief, skipper of the Sponge Fishermen. Welcome, Chief.
Thank you. It's been a while. Good to see you all.
Drinking anything special tonight? Bourbon?
I am actually.
Wow.
Well, good choice.
It's a big bottle.
I find it to be the best bang for the buck in these days of overpriced bourbon.
Hank, czar and CEO of the K-Wheels, our IT director. Welcome.
Thank you very much. I had the privilege of being in Minneapolis this weekend. Saw the Vikings. Went to the stadium. I had not been to the new stadium. Great
And
fun.
looking good in his Viking jacket.
Yes, I sported the Vikings jacket and the Fran Tarkenton jersey in the same weekend. You have to break these things out when you can.
Nice. Nice.
Yes, so good time with my parents, and then continuing my run up 6-month celebration as I approach my 50th birthday. So good fun.
Nice. Awesome.
Yes.
Any quick scouting nuggets from
Cheers
being
to 50.
at the
Two
game?
guys that I was watching, they were both on defense that are awesome, and I hope to hell they make the team. I mean, the preseason games are fun. Cousins did play the first half.
Yeah.
Dalvin Cook, Justin Jefferson did not play. Thielen played for a series, maybe two. Alexander Madison played for a series. It was a terrible football game. It was 10-12. Indianapolis kicked 4 field goals. The backup quarterback, Jacob Eason, I think he's pretty good for a backup. I mean, but Wentz is hurt, so you never know. Their backup may be playing, right?
We'll see.
At any rate, good
And
weekend.
new stadium would look good.
Very cool. The stadium is awesome.
Looks like Lance is coming back, though.
Yeah, we'll see.
Sooner rather than later.
We'll see if that's a good thing.
Berto, high command from Jack's Giant Killers. Welcome.
Stick, how are you? It's been a while.
It has been.
When was our last webcast? Like 6 weeks ago?
I don't think it was quite that long, but
Really?
A bit.
we were trying to do one 2 weeks ago and couldn't make it work, and then I was on vacation, and We had one lined up. We were Adam and Rich were together up in.
Oh, that was the power outage day.
That's right. Hank lost power for 24 hours or so. Yeah.
Anyway, good to be back. We got a lot to talk about.
I freaking hate losing power. Losing power sucks ass. That should be over in this day and age.
Move to Texas.
Yeah, sorry, buddy.
Right.
Yeah.
I think Adam's working on the power stuff too, I believe.
Definitely not working on the power stuff.
So our punch from the Lizards, our first off, our commissioner, Lizards king and ruler, Rich, how are you?
I'm doing wonderful. All's well. Also coming off 2 weeks vacation, just my first week back at work, which has been good, into a new bourbon here, which is Elijah Craig that I chose today. And I poured myself an extra big glass because I thought it was going to be an extra long webcast.
No, it might be. We have
we have plenty of commissioner news to report, things to address. We'll hit that in a minute when we're done with introductions, and it's time to do that.
I may need to request a timeout at some point.
And our special guest also with the Lizards, Adam. Welcome back to the Webcast.
Thank you for having me.
What's going on in your life? What's going on in Texas?
Well, COVID. I was on the East Coast and I was just watching all the ICU beds fill up. So I basically came home and came right into the house, and that's it. So my extensive bourbon collection, a lot of Douglas, and work and chilling out.
Well, to be fair to Texas, it seems like the governor has things well under control there.
Oh yeah,
I think
he's a sharp individual. He's got a plan. He's executing it. Fucking A.
Is there a bourbon you've got tonight?
There is a bourbon I have. In Rich's honor, I pulled out the rabbit hole.
Oh, nice.
Very good.
I sent him that bottle. That's why.
Yeah. I brought the bottle for the same reason, by the way. I figured this might go a little bit, so, might as well have it right here.
So, Adam, let's start talking a little football here right away. Remind me, I could be totally off my rocker here, but aren't you the wide receiver specialist for the Lizards?
I would say I'm a wide receiver consultant. I wouldn't say that I'm a specialist. My expertise lies in kickers. I'm just
What kinds of conversations are the Lizards having at this time of year?
There's a lot of deliberations. I mean, it's always the case with us. Usually there's 3 or 4 guys that we're looking at, and any 2 could be on top. And then you take a look at something, you read something else, and you decide, maybe it's the other guy. And then we basically argue back and forth for about, 4 to 6 weeks, maybe up until we actually draft. And then we narrow it down to 2. And then it's literally as we're getting ready to pick, Rich will turn to me and say no, so what do you think, the other guy? And, so I'm used to it.
I don't mean to stall us, but while we've got the Lizards on the spot, how much concern is there now about Dak Prescott?
None.
Well done.
Yes,
The only way to answer it.
All right. Let's.
That's honest. There's zero concern with Dak Prescott.
Good.
I'm very confident that he'll be there, and I'm very confident we'll have a good backup like we did last year.
And listen, I've got Amari Cooper. I'm really not rooting against Dak Prescott. I would just note that I think people who throw things for a living, shoulders and elbows tend to be things I would get concerned about. But hopefully he's out there week one. I'd like to see that offense click with all 3 of those receivers, with Zeke, with Prescott held. I mean, I don't know if he's really ever going to throw for 6,000 yards like he was, on pace for last year. But I'd like to see him healthy and see that offense go for a full year.
I would too.
So would we.
I mean, look, you got to temper what you read from Adam Schefter and the media, right? I mean, it's not like they have the real inside scoop on stuff, because they're proven wrong all the time. So, you hear shit from these guys like, Oh, he might not be right the whole season. He might not be right, blah, blah, blah. You know what? Don't pay attention to it. See what happens on the field. He's going to be their starter. He's going to be there on week 1. He's going to be playing. See what happens.
All right. Well, I'm not sure I appreciate you bashing the media like that because
Fake news.
I was going to say, if you haven't over the years come to appreciate the real journalism that TFFL media does with all the breaking news and what else do we do?
Always
And the breaking news.
self-serving.
Like you said earlier, Nick, you've been pounding the pavement. You've been reaching out to people to see what they're going to do in the draft.
That's real journalism. That's new. I like it.
Yeah, so I was going to say, if you don't believe it, I think you will now. I have talked to, I think, or at least reached out to every single owner in the last 24 hours who has a first-round pick. So we got a lot of insights here to share tonight. Our correspondents all up and down the East Coast, Berto up with the New Jersey teams. We've been collecting information. We got lots to share tonight. But first, as always,
We have TFFL stringers.
TFFL
no
Media is an enterprise.
I got a text right here from Terry about some breaking news.
Wow.
I think I texted Terry a little bit too late last night. It was like 11 something, and I was like, he might be in bed. This is going to be buzzing, And he woke up, but he woke up this morning and responded right away.
So yeah.
So we got lots of intel to share. But first, Chief, do you have a trivia question for us?
Oh, you bet I do.
Nice.
And it's a doozy. Get your writing implements and let's talk. It's been a while. The last time we were all here, minus Adam, we talked at length about Kyle Pitts. Where does he go in the draft? How rare is it that we're talking about a tight end going in the first 5 picks, first 8 picks? I think the consensus was he'd go somewhere between 4 and 8, and probably towards the high half of that or low half of that, depending on your perspective. So here's some research. So listen, there are a total of 7 points available here.
Wow.
7.
There's going to be 7 parts to this question.
Oh my God.
Wow. Okay.
I was in for an SAT.
We'll go nice and slow here. I want you to tell me in the last 10 years, the last 10 drafts, how many tight ends have gone in the first round of the TFFL draft? Of the last 10 TFFL drafts.
Okay.
I'm not spending any time on these. I'm going with first impulse.
Going gridless.
Here's questions 2, 3, and 4. Give me the most recent tight end to go in the top 10 of the draft. So I want you to name him, tell me the year he was drafted, and which TFFL team selected him.
So most recent, the year.
And the TFFL team.
That drafted him. Okay.
Wow.
This is going to be tough. So in the last 10 years, how many TEs in the first round and who in what year most recently drafted one?
Right. Now here we go for the final 3 questions here.
Oh my God.
Okay. We're going back to the 2004 draft.
Oh boy.
For the very good reason of that's as far back as my records go. That was my re-entry into the TFFL with a sponge fisherman. That would have actually been a good question too. But since the 2004 draft, which tight end has been drafted the highest? Or again, the lowest, depending on perspective. Closest to the first pick.
Yep.
I want you to give me the name of the tight end, what number he was drafted at, and again, the TFFL team was chosen. The 7 points there. If anyone gets 3, I'll be shocked. But still, There's 7 points, and hopefully have a little fun with this.
Wow.
And the answers will be educational.
Got it.
There's no chance. I'm not even going to think about it. I'm going gridless on this entirely.
All right. Thank you, Chief. That's a great set of questions. All right.
This is also a high school tight end, so maybe that had something to do with it, at least in retrospect.
Rich, Commissioner's Corner, busy time of year for you.
Yep. Sorry, you caught me when I was actually thinking for a moment.
I'm gonna think while you tell us all the things you need to tell us about.
All right, fair enough. So quite a bit to cover from the commissioner's report today. First of all, I think it's exciting that we're actually talking about going to our draft in person, and that's exciting. So at this stage, I'm hoping everyone has their travel plans set. If not, this is your final reminder for me to get your travel plan set so that we see you bushy-tailed and bright-eyed, or bright-eyed and bushy-tailed when we're down there in Myrtle Beach. Keeper deadline, as Stick alluded to, it is officially going to be August 31st is the last day of cuts for the NFL. We're going to make the keeper deadline that Friday, September 3rd at 9 p.m. That way, everyone has time through the weekend, a week before, to leverage that information, plan accordingly, set their draft prep, etc. So 9 o'clock, September 3rd is when the keeper deadline is. All dues should be in by now, and there are 2 teams missing their dues at this point. So this is a reminder to those 2 teams, get in your dues. Otherwise, you may get penalized, right?
Am I one of them? I don't know.
No, you're not one of them.
Good.
Nobody on this webcast is one of them. And as I mentioned, the draft is on like Robotron. Pray for great weather and no hurricanes and no COVID issues. Okay.
Yeah.
And I look forward to seeing everybody there. Now, the 2 last things. Please, everyone, I would like you to take 10, 15 minutes, go inside that essential doc and make sure that I got all the trades, all the picks, all the draft order stuff in. The whole draft order is set. I believe that I have jockeyed all of the right teams in the right positions. So if you wouldn't mind, please looking at the essential doc and coming back to me if there's any changes or I made a mistake anywhere. Please let me know, but this is also your final ask for that. I'll send one email with all this information. That'll be the final reminder. But please check out the essential doc and make sure it's all's right. And then lastly, as you saw my communication on how we're going to handle the extra week this year, we're adding in an extra game, and I'm trying to work through the configuration and the planning with com.com. I actually had our rules chairman, Shive. Wow, that was a Freudian slip. But I had Thornburg and our rules chairman, as well as our former commissioner, Terry, on with me last night. And we were doing some investigation, some configuration understanding, and ultimately, com.com doesn't know how to deal with an extra week right now, from what I can gather. And so I've sent in a help request to them, asking them and posing a couple of scenarios of how it could be handled. And we'll see what I get back in short order. In a worst case scenario, what would happen is that I would run, as I did last night in my test, the auto-generated schedule. And upon doing that, I would save, and thanks to Stick's suggestion, because I did speak with him briefly after, I would save off that schedule as it is, and then work with a small committee to help me make sure that I get the jockeying of that extra week in order. Because what's essentially happening is that com.com wants to add the extra game in and give it to division rivals. So it's adding a third game within the division versus having the logic to say, we want a third game, but we want it out of the division, not in the division. So that's what I'm wrestling with right now. Again, the worst case scenario is that I print a auto-generated draft, and I use that as the base, and I fix essentially 1 week to ensure that we move people from having a game against the division to one that would then be against a non-division rival. Does that make sense to everyone as I laid it out?
I like it.
Okay. So ultimately, we would still do this in a very fair fashion, without anything deliberate. I would either pick the names out of a hat or do something that I needed to do to make it randomized so that as we were placing those games, it's not to have a third division game. It's to add one extra random game against anyone in conference. So we'll play that by ear. And the idea was we would try to do it week 4. So that is the update. That's all I have. And I can't wait to see everybody. It's going to be exciting.
Berto, have you been paid as you need to get paid?
There's 2 outstanding, but we're doing pretty good. So
I'd like to see the Venn diagram.
Am I
Between the 2 who are missing dues and the 2 who haven't paid?
If I owe money, Bird, just tell me. I'm happy to pay.
you're good.
I'm good. Good. Look at
And
this.
that might overlap with the 2 owners who have not responded to any of my texts over the last. No, that I don't know if that's true. Anyway, engagement, folks. Engagement. Let's go. Thank you for all of that, Rich. Thank you for leading us through these tricky times. And to Bill, our rules chairman, for his guidance as well. All right, let's talk football. Let's talk draft. Let's talk training camp. Let's start with this would not have been on the agenda if I bothered to make an agenda last night. Travis Etienne, Hank just discovered this news, 26 minutes ago, 4 minutes before we went on the air. So this may be news to some of you out there. I hate to break it to you if it is. Travis Etienne done for the year with the dreaded Liz Frank foot injury. I've already talked to, of course, the Boba Fats, picking at the number 2 spot, long forecasted to be taking Etienne there. He seems to be kind of painlessly, quickly pivoting to Javonte Williams as the number 2 overall pick. Not a surprise seeing the top 2 running backs go 1-2. But that's kind of it for the top tier running backs now. So I think lots of questions, lots of shakeup in the top half of the first round here. First, big question I think that everybody comes to mind with is, let's focus on Etienne for a second. Is he still a first round pick?
No.
For anybody?
No. You got to again, it's one of those scenarios where you're going to have to draft him high, put him on IR, and then keep him before he ever plays a game for you. Good luck.
Yeah, this is the game that, somebody will take him at some point in the draft, but it'll be, double digits and who's willing to go earlier and stash him on IR. But somebody will.
Well, somebody will, just not the first round.
It happened. This has happened several times, and these guys, I feel like they go the 10th or 11th round or something like that, and it's an IR stash.
Well, he won't.
I think he'll go earlier. I think he'll go earlier than that. Somebody will take him.
I think he'll go somewhere. I would say by the 3rd round. I think he'll be taken.
4th tops.
And if you're a good team, if you're a team that's got a solid keeper list, and let's say you have an extra 2nd or 3rd round pick, yeah, I can see that. Phil's point is a good one. And personally, I kind of subscribe to that myself. But if you can afford to stash a guy on the IR for a year, maybe you have that older running back who's retiring, and maybe you don't plan on drafting high next year. I can see it. I'd be surprised if he's there after the 3rd.
I don't know. That seems I mean, maybe the 10th is too late. Yeah, that's true. But I don't know. That seems high. But I mean, if a couple people are saying it, then somebody's going to take him there. But
Yeah,
I would have thought later. But maybe not the 10th. But 5th, 6th, something like that. But
the evidence is there. We have seen it in recent years. I think the Hams took Dante Foreman in the second round. Second round for Dante Foreman, knowing he was out for the year with an Achilles injury.
Yep.
Bill, Stick, you had an entire draft of hurt guys about 4 years ago.
I've done that with some guys before, and Darius Geis, I believe, was a Mongols redraft in that scenario. Second round to grab him and stash him.
You've given us two fine examples. How did both of those examples work out for the teams that did that?
not very well.
No. I think if you want Travis Etienne, you really should jump on him as early as possible. Probably
Go for it.
get him immediately.
It's a wait.
Berto makes a good point. I think the team that comes to mind as a kind of a weird possibility for me is actually the Boba Fats, who were the team looking at Etienne at number 2. They've got extra picks. They've got the number 9 overall pick in addition to the number 2 overall pick. They've got the number 14 overall pick at the top of the second round. So maybe it's not the first round, but I wonder there at the top of the second round with your third pick. Hey, go get the guy you were probably excited to get at number 2 overall, and I just think you're probably going to see Etienne go in the second round. And maybe, Berto, you might be right. A team with extra picks. Hank, I know you've got other priorities, but at some point, second, maybe third round, he's not lasting past the third round.
No, no way.
So the next question then is how does Etienne shake up the first round? Any disagreement that Javonte Williams shouldn't be the second pick there for the Fats?
Based on need, I don't know.
No question.
I don't think there's an issue with that. I think he is probably the next best running back.
The Fats have Travis Kelce at tight end. He's already kind of acknowledged Pitts really doesn't make sense there.
Jamar Chase, you haven't seen him yet.
No, and that's one of the. Let's quickly just transition to that because again, I don't think there's a lot of debate about Javonte Williams at 2.
No,
but one of the things we should talk about is Jamar Chase kind of trending down. Lots of bad press over the last few days.
Oh, there you go, listening to the press. You keep doing that. That's good.
So Rich, we talked last webcast about Chase as a possibility, maybe a probability at number 4 overall. You still looking at him?
I love Chase. I think he's going to be a megastar. There's no question.
Adam, that's a nice poker face.
I'm just sitting here, not even playing poker.
I think Smith is a good talent too.
Yep. Berto, you sitting there at number 6 or squarely in that wide receiver territory. Frankly, you traded away DJ Moore. We'll talk about that too in a second. Creating space, I think, to go draft a receiver in the first round. Would you like to see some better training camps out of Smith and Chase for that matter?
No. I mean, I'm okay taking a wide receiver there. I mean, if a running back that I think is or Pitts, if Pitts falls, man, I'm going to grab him, even though I have Waller. I don't think he will, but I think I still have good options, right? Because the way I looked at it, there were 8 guys. So, and now there's, in my mind, 7 guys. And I think I'm still in a good place. So I'm going to get one of the guys that I was looking at. I think if you're like the Fats at 9, possibly, or depending upon what you do, Stick. But I think you're going to take Lawrence. Maybe at Fats's pick, or maybe even at the Hams pick, it becomes an issue. But I'm still kind of in the same spot. It really. I don't think Etienne affects me at 6 much at all. So,
To me, it's interesting when you talk about a top 8 or a top 9, presumably including guys like Sermon and Michael Carter for the Jets.
Is that how you pronounce that? Sermon?
That's Sermon.
I don't know. I thought it was just Trey Sermon.
Sermon? I don't know.
What's this Sermon stuff?
I've never met the guy, but it's
fancy.
Sermon.
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 Trying to sound a little cultured.
Until told otherwise.
Where was I? Anyway, So I wanted to say Michael Carter in all my conversations.
Michael Carter.
Michael Carter.
That was good, Chief.
In all my conversations over the last 24 hours, his name surprisingly keeps coming up among teams in the top 7, among teams in the top 5. Obviously, teams outside the top 7 are included in that. People have said, yeah, if he's sitting there, in the 8, 9, 10 range, obviously, But Michael Carter is somebody there, a surprising level of interest in him. You could see him go a lot higher than certainly I've been projecting.
And it's always that Jets stink that, you don't want to be involved with anyone on the Jets. However, Gase isn't there anymore. So I keep reminding myself of that with Carter, that Gase is not there. And maybe it's a new day for the Jets, but that's the only thing. Man, it's just the Jets for Carter. But
Somebody's going to take him.
got to get past that. But he's a talented player for sure.
Yeah. Somebody's going to take him out.
That could be my pick at 6 for sure.
So Sermon and Carter in probably that second tier of running backs. I think at this point, and I've talked to owners who will agree with me, I think Ramondre Stevenson belongs in that tier. Chief, you're our resident Patriots fan. We kept hearing all offseason how Sony Michel was perhaps going to get cut, and I've kind of been waiting for it, especially given the way Stevenson drew rave reviews at the start of camp, has now 4 touchdowns through 2 preseason games. Is Michel going to stick around this year? What's Stevenson's role going to be in the regular season?
What about Harris?
Michel will stick around because he's cheap. How much he plays, I don't know. He doesn't play special teams. He might be game day inactive. I was hoping to pick up Stevenson like the 11th rounder or so as a deep shot to Damian Harris. Well, listen, I still went draft in the first round or the second or the third or the fourth. The easiest thing for a rookie running back to do is take the ball and run with it. And it's like 1/3 of his job. If you can't make your blocks, if you can't protect the quarterback or be a pass catching threat, which he is none of those, or a special teams player even, it's hard to get on the field. Yeah, he looked great against football teams, second and third string defenders. I don't recall him doing anything great against Philadelphia next week. They're second and third stringers. He'll go early. I agree. I don't think he's first round material. I'd be shocked if he went in the first round. But he's probably a top 20 pick guy at this point.
I think one of the things too with a guy like that is in our scoring, if he can fall into the end zone, if he can be a LeGarrette Blount type guy and score TDs or have the infamous Jerome Bettis 2 yards and 3 TDs or 3 yards and 3 TDs, whatever it was. Those types of games. If this guy is the goal line back there, then he has value, and he has more value in our league than other leagues. So, I think it's still TBD, to Chief's point, whether that is going to be his role and if he's going to get in the game. But man, if Belichick puts him as the goal line back, he's got a lot of value for sure.
Yeah, but you just don't know, and you just nailed it. It's Belichick's offense, and you got Sony Michel, Harris, Moore, you got White, you got some fullback, you got the crazy pass to the left tackle that Bill Belichick
You're forgetting the number one thing. You have Cam Newton under center.
You got Cam
Yeah.
Newton under center, exactly. So to me, it's like stay as far away as you can from the Patriots running back situation. So do what you want. Take them in the top.
First round.
Please, I hope somebody takes him in the first round.
First rounder, no
Please.
question.
Please, yes.
Top 10 pick for sure.
Right. I mean, and look, you're talking about, again, a Belichick offense. I drafted Harris, who sat on my bench for a year. He was better than any running back that was on the field, and they didn't play him. So what's the difference with this guy? Why are they going to play him?
Yeah, and the other point too is this team just doesn't score as many points now without Tom Brady there, and some other guys they had. So that's the other thing too. Yeah, no, you're right. It's crowded backfield for sure, but I still think he's. Look at some of the other guys at the end of the first round. I don't know. He could go 12, 11, 12, 13 very easily.
I hope he does.
Listen, on the last webcast we did, more than one of you, I think, kind of passionately said, Chuba Hubbard is a first-round pick. Damn it! If he is a lock first-round pick, so is Ramondre Stevenson. Go look at the list. There are not a lot of quality, high upside rookie options. If you're sitting there at the end of the first round, somebody is going to look at Ramondre Stevenson, who actually apparently was a decent pass catcher in college, has done well in that regard in training camp, has scored 2 touchdowns now in each of the first 2 games, is the kind of back that Bill Belichick likes giving the ball to.
Why?
Because he's a big back who's going to grind down the clock when they get a lead in the first half. Sony Michel, even if he stays there this year, is gone next year. If you're investing in a guy like Chuba Hubbard, keeping a guy like Tony Pollard, whatever the scenario is where you're thinking, over the next 2 years, this guy gets a shot. Ramondre Stevenson is as good a get as anybody at that point.
Yeah, no, I think Chuba is a lot higher than Steven. And I say that because of the crowded backfield and because I think coming off the injury with Christian McCaffrey, they're going to want to balance out no different than they did with Davis a little bit and give a little more carries to Chuba and probably put him in those goal line situations or those tougher. A guy who's, 6'2" and big guy in Hubbard, I think probably has, to me, a lot more potential than Steven Rattimore.
We'll get that in the bet book for you guys between Stevenson and Hubbard.
I'll take that bet
as a rookie.
That's a great bet. Yeah.
We'll write it down later.
I like it.
All right, and another rookie that is, I think, probably shooting up draft boards right now. I think he's a rookie. Berto, we've been talking about him. Marquez Callaway.
Second year.
Undrafted free agent, I think.
Mm-hmm.
If you have not seen the highlights from the game last night, go look at the 2 touchdown catches he had. This guy is a pro receiver. He is good.
Couple great catches.
Awesome. I mean, he looks like a number 1 NFL receiver.
Great throws by Winston too.
That too. Winston, and we know Winston can throw the ball and can throw touchdown passes. Callaway looks like he's going to be the Saints' number 1 receiver to start the year. We've got the both Lizards owners here. They obviously are hoping Michael Thomas comes back as soon as possible and goes back to his 2019 form. How high does is Callaway suddenly first, second round fodder? He just looked really. Go look at those 2 plays, and I think you move him up your draft board.
He's up there. He's good.
The problem is there are a ton of good available receivers.
Yeah, no, there are.
That's not a problem though.
No, it's unless you're Marquez Callaway and want to get drafted higher in the TFFL draft.
True that.
I think that you're right. He definitely bumps up a little bit. He looks all the part of a very good receiver. And like you said, there's lots of good ones out there, but I think he's definitely in the upper portion of that, especially with Michael Thomas being out for a minimum of 6 weeks, I suppose. that he has a great opportunity. The big question is, is it going to, he looked great with Winston in there. And if Winston's the guy, then that looks really good. If he's not, then I don't know.
Yeah.
I think that's the big question. Who's throwing to him?
Yeah, and Taysom Hill is going to be, I think, the guy they want to roll with, and he's not going to throw as much. I mean, I think, it's a different kind of offense if he's the quarterback. Granted, Jameis Winston throws the ball over the field, and so if he's going to be the guy, or if they're going to do some kind of, different style quarterbacks and whatnot, who knows with Sean Payton playing genius cards down there. Who knows? But, yeah, he looks good. And, if Thomas is hurt, who else are they throwing to?
Yeah, if he's the number one receiver, he's the number one receiver for either quarterback.
Yeah.
Both quarterbacks. I don't know if I'm on that bandwagon yet. But certainly
First rounder, no question. Top 10 pick.
No, I'd say it's probably the top 2 though. But if you try to chart the possible outcomes here, that seems to be probably the most possible outcome. He enters the season as a number 1 NFL receiver on a team that's probably still going to be pretty good.
Yeah.
How do you not take him in the top 15? He's the kind of guy I would take, and I can't believe I'm saying this because I didn't think about it past 2 minutes ago. The kind of guy I would usually take in the first round, or everybody else is snapping up rookie running backs.
Right. He could go into the first round.
He could.
Who, Callaway?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
Depending on the Tom situation, yeah. Now, and I don't know what the Tom is because is he out for the first 6 weeks?
When is Thomas back? That's the key question.
I don't think we know for sure yet.
No.
Did they give a timeline?
I can tell you because I pay attention that they say he's ahead of schedule
But
in terms of how he's doing, right? But do you believe the media? I don't know.
no estimate though.
No,
When
there's
did
no
you turn into Donald Trump?
Yeah.
What? I'm not Donald Trump. I'm just saying. I think there's a lot of exaggeration in the media. That's all.
Don't
they
believe
have-
what you're hearing and
They have
reading.
one goal, Stick: get your eyeballs and get you reading their shit. So they do sensationalize a lot, and maybe I'm a little scorned, a little tired of it all.
Sure.
Wow, Rich.
Yeah.
All right.
It's the jadedness, Who can you trust anymore?
All right. Well,
Interesting.
then here's another media scoop for you. Among all the conversations I've been having, it is very clear there is a lot of trade activity, a lot of trade talk going on, and it is all one direction. It is all people wanting to move up in this first round. People late in the first round wanting to move up into the top 7. It is people within the top 7 wanting to move higher. And I get the sense there's not a lot of interest in people trading back.
I think Etienne really put a damper on that too. That's one less guy in that top that, so.
I feel like that's every year.
Mm-hmm.
Berto, you said you're getting offers at 6. Hank, Lizards, I know you guys have gotten offers at 3 and 4. I've gotten offers at 7. Anything brewing at all? What are the chances that you think something goes down before draft day?
I think with Eddie and going out, I don't think that's. I think everybody's going to hold on to their spots. I don't. There may be one move. I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, could be. During the draft day, that could happen. Maybe
Bourbon fueled trading.
Sure.
Unless it's Berto and Kramer rearranging deck chairs, I highly doubt anybody's moving.
Yeah, I put it this way. I find it hard to move my first pick for sure.
Yeah.
And mostly because I'm not sure how, because if I do that, it's not only missing a pick, it's getting rid of a player and then, taking a player that, yes, maybe a proven guy that I'm psyched to have. But that would make me have to get rid of Michael Thomas and lose my pick. And that just doesn't work for me quite as much. I have 2 second-round picks, so that's probably up for at least some potential. But again, I don't know that I feel like I can take on somebody and I have somebody to just dispatch. I like my keepers.
I think the loser in the big loser in the Etienne news today was Nick and the Dirt Devils sitting at number 5. Yeah, again, the big news on our last webcast was that they had lost Cam Akers, and I know Nick was very optimistic that Javonte Williams would fall to him at number 5, give him another strong rookie running back to essentially come in and take Akers' place, and obviously with the Etienne news today, I think Javonte Williams goes number 2. Yes, Nick will have some second-tier rookie running backs. Simone,
Ray Simone,
Michael Carter, but that's not the same as Javonte Williams, who I think was in the top tier with Etienne and Najee Harris. So we'll see what Nick ends up doing there at 5, but I think he's probably a little disappointed today that he's not getting that top tier of rookie running backs. Hey, let me turn to our New Jersey correspondent, Berto. I know he's been working the phones up there, talking with the Senators, with the Mongols, some off the record conversations, I think, with sources close to those franchises, and of course the Giant Killers themselves. What kind of offers are you making and receiving, and what are you hearing with the other New Jersey teams up there?
So I texted Terry earlier, and he gave me a great scoop here. Probably a running back, possibly a tight end, unless Carter or somebody like that falls. So that's your scoop for the Mongols. Hard hitting.
And they pick at what, 12?
Yeah, 22. Where are they?
There are 12. Our defending champion Mongols.
I think, and then about the Sens, I think we probably all have gotten some sort of offer from the Sens. I'm sure all of the offers that people have gotten to move up have been from the Sens.
Yeah, he wants Joe Mixon back.
Yeah, so the Sens are doing typical Sens stuff, which is sending out a lot of offers and seeing what sticks. And he wants to move up. He wants a stud in the first round, like everyone else.
I finally found the upside of not having a first pick to the 3rd round. I have got 0 spam from the Senators.
There you go.
You win, Chief.
I feel so much better now.
That's the secret. He doesn't have the pick to for the Sens to move up to. Yeah, but that's Kramer's thing right now, and he sees what everyone else sees, the drop off, which is every year, that drop off around 6 or 7, and it's two. Round 1 is not all round 1. Round 1 is round 1A and round 1B, and that's just the way it is.
So let's transition from that. That's a nice segue. The last topic I wanted to bring up tonight is a couple of the recent trades we've seen since we last talked. Some significant receiver swaps. The Aliens, and this is going to tie right into the Senators and the Giant Killers here in a second. The Aliens giving up a 4th round pick, essentially, for Tyler Lockett, coming back from the Senators. And then the Senators essentially turned right around. It didn't happen quite that quickly because Berto and Kramer take forever to stick around over trade details. But the Senators then turn around and I think essentially give up a 5th round pick to get DJ Moore back from the Giant Killers. So I think the Senators are probably sitting at home watching the webcast thinking, they should claim this great victory. They, got back a 4th, gave away a 5th. So they moved up 1 round in the draft and upgraded maybe from Lockett to Moore. But maybe I'm biased. I think that's probably an even situation there. You're betting on Sam Darnold instead of Russell Wilson, if you want to look at it that way. This just felt like a lot of shuffling for I'm still not quite sure what the Senators were trying to do there.
Yeah, I mean,
anybody sure what the Senators are ever trying to do?
Listen, I like DJ Moore, and I was, I wanted to keep him, and I wanted to figure that out, but it's numbers game. It didn't work, and the guy's a good receiver, and he's young and he's talented. He doesn't get in the end zone, which frustrated me a little bit last year. But maybe he'll regress or whatever, regress back to the mean, and he'll get in the end zone more. But that was the thing. He couldn't do it. And, then you start getting into Burrow or other people, Chris Carson, and it just didn't work. Right. So, but I think for the Sens, DJ Moore is 24. How old is Lockett?
29.
29. All right. So Moore is several years younger. So it's, he did get a younger player there, and he's very good. And, it looks like that offense is pointed up. McCaffrey back, and good things there possibly with that offense. Maybe Sam Darnold can have a Tannehill type of, resurgence there, that he was stuck with the Jets and under Adam Gase, and now he's somewhere else. And, maybe he's going to be a pretty damn good player. So, there's a lot of upside with DJ Moore, and I don't want to let him go, but, it's a numbers game. And I did it earlier for, maybe he got a good deal. Maybe I should have gotten a fourth or even a third for him. But at that point, you kind of take what you can get and move on.
All right, quick lightning round question. I just want a quick show of hands here because I think it's a fascinating football question. You brought up the Carolina offense. We're talking about DJ Moore. I've got Robbie Anderson, 95 catch guy from last year. And I'm just not excited to even think about keeping him. So and I'll tell you why, because here's my question. Do you believe enough in Sam Darnold that Carolina offense with, Joe Brady, offensive coordinator, with DJ Moore, with Robbie Anderson, with Christian McCaffrey, is Sam Darnold really going to be any better than Teddy Bridgewater? Raise your hand.
Well,
I think he will be.
I am a Sam Darnold believer, but I didn't think there was anything wrong with Teddy Bridgewater last year.
Have Bridgewater.
I think that Joe Brady's, a creative enough guy. I think Christian McCaffrey takes a lot of pressure away from the quarterback. Most importantly, and Berto just said it, I think getting Darnold out of that toxic work environment is going to do wonders for him. I think he still has a legitimate shot to be a star quarterback in this league.
First round, Sam Darnold.
Are you talking about Bridgewater being a stud?
Sam Darnold.
No, I'm with Darnold.
Sam Darnold.
Yeah. Well, I actually think they both have the opportunity.
I think Sam Darnold's talent is still there. I think with a good coaching staff and a good offensive coordinator, I think he can be let's say a top 15 quarterback in the NFL.
He has something. He has something to prove for sure. Like after his last team, he has to come out and show that he's the real deal. Otherwise, he slides off into obscurity. If he chokes this year, he's going to become a backup quarterback, something like that.
Chance. He either does it now or no team is giving him the reins again, barring
exactly.
He becomes
a journeyman backup quarterback.
Yep, totally agree.
All right,
I do like his chances. I think that Darnold is got the talent, as Chief was saying.
All right,
the running game is back, and he's got pretty good receivers there. He's got a much better cast than he had with the Jets. Not even including the coaching staff. So and then your point about competition for targets. I think it's always better to have a good receiver lining up on the other side of you versus not. Move the chains, more opportunities, higher scoring, all of those things. I think talent. Another talented wide receiver on the team only helps your talented wide receiver, and I think they're going to be pretty good. And Robbie Anderson, you said 95.
He had 95 catches last year. Yeah. But I'm not excited to keep him. Okay, that was not very lightning roundy. So let me try this one more time real quick. imagine for a second, because I think it's going to happen. Imagine that Teddy Bridgewater wins that job in Denver. Who do you take higher? Bridgewater leading that Denver offense, or Darnold leading Carolina?
Bridgewater.
Darnold.
Unless I have a signed note saying that he's not going to switch back to lock.
Right.
I'm taking Darnold.
Yeah, that's a good call. But that's a tough one. I like Bridgewater.
I like that.
I think he has something to prove too.
They both have great sets of weapons to throw to.
Yeah. Could I just come back and ask you what you saw in Lockett?
What I see in Lockett, first and foremost, is a great offense, or a great passing offense potentially. I say potentially because I know that Seattle flaked down the stretch last year. There are no other threats in that offense besides Metcalf and Lockett. Robbie Anderson had 95 catches. Tyler Lockett had 100 catches last year. He scores touchdowns. I think the last 3 years are 9, 10, and 9 touchdowns. 100 catches last year and a great offense. I see a guy he's not going to be a stud number one fantasy receiver, but as long as he stays healthy, which he has, he's going to be a guy you throw out there every week. And I know he was boom or bust a little bit last year, but again, 3 straight years approaching 10 touchdowns. He's a strong number 2 fantasy receiver for a 4th round pick.
Cool.
Here's the answer to this question, and it's a phenomenon in our league that's been happening for about 15 years. We have such an overvaluation of draft picks that someone would rather pay a 6th round for a mediocre guy than like a 2nd round for a legitimate top 15 receiver. And I got burned with this once, like a decade ago. I could have Reggie Wayne for a 5th. I'm like, no, I'll take Robert Meacham for a 9th instead. To keep that 5th round pick. You can probably guess I regret that. So when I see people and maybe it's just me. I see people like Laviska Shenault getting traded for, DJ Moore getting traded for, Tyler Lockett, who I like a lot, getting traded for. Now I'm seeing it with freaking Devontae Adams, Julio Jones, Adam Thielen, and Cooper Kupp. And it's like, I'll give you a 5th for him. I'll give you a 7th for him. They'll do a 10-12 swap for him. And it's
you should keep 4 receivers.
It's maddening that the middle of the road draft pick gets so overvalued that someone will take a scratcher. Then for example, Adam Thielen, a consistent 85 catch, 1,100 yard, 8 TD guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, did you even inquire with Chief around what was there instead of Lockett stick?
I did not, to be honest. I mean, you guys all know that Kramer is very proactive, but here's what I would say is I surely at the time looked around at who I liked better. If I felt like Thielen was somebody I wanted to go after, I would have. I don't have a big problem with Thielen. He's even older than Lockett. I prefer Russell Wilson to Kirk Cousins. If I were ranking receivers, I'd probably have Lockett, again in that 12 to 15 range, and Thielen's probably in the 18 to 22 range, if I had to guess. Not a big deal. I have nothing against Thielen. Thielen probably should have a home on a keeper list somewhere. Chiefs got time to make that happen.
Yeah, he probably will. I mean, it's probably better than 50-50 they will. And again, I wanted to wait till after the last week of preseason games to see how the injuries are going to shake out. Once bitten, twice shy, I guess. Making trades too early in the preseason, leaving yourself short the keeper deadline. So I had a few good conversations today. But yeah, when Shenault went relevant, and I actually asked Thornburg too, because he had a keeper this year. I said, hey, interest in one of my guys? No, not really. Okay. To quote Tom Brady, you're sticking with that motherfucker? So you can call that the return of the webcast rant if you'd like. But
Chief, you've got the floor. Give us 7 trivia answers too.
Okay, you got your notes. I have mine. So I did this 3 weeks ago, and now I gotta remember.
This was really, really hard.
I didn't know anything.
Listen, I'm not gonna try to
Can
read
you
all
repeat
your.
the question one more time?
No.
Can you repeat the question one more time?
I'll do the questions, then I'll answer them.
All right, because I want to make sure I
Read
got the question right.
Give like 5 seconds, I'll answer them. You're on the honor system. There's no way I can read all these things. Okay, the first question
We'll just flash them up so we could check each other.
was how many. This one I should be able to do. How many tight ends in the last 10 years were drafted in the first round?
3.
Okay.
Eight.
I have 3.
3.
The answer is 3.
Yeah.
Yes.
Remember, I said total guess, random guess, right out of the gate.
If you
Love
had
it.
3, give yourself 1 point.
Okay.
I got 1 point. First time. Love
Okay.
it. All right.
Most recent
I'm on a roll.
year, name, and TFFL team. The most recent was Greg Olson,
Got it.
Nope.
Bastard.
number 9 by the Steel City.
You're breaking up.
Nope.
So
Wait, this is why I mixed up the
I had
questions.
Wizards.
This is why I mixed up the questions. See, because I have Olsen here for number 5. Because I thought you said what was the most recent draft pick.
So I had Greg Olson, Lizards 2012, but you were looking for what pick in the draft. Anyway, so
Yeah, I had the year too.
That was the confusing part.
all right. So I got one there. I got Greg Olson.
Nice.
Got nothing.
Okay.
All right, last
Yeah.
one.
We go back to this is going to be fun. Back to 2004.
Mm-hmm.
The highest tight end drafted.
Oh, that's where I messed up.
Who is it?
You guys an answer?
Travis Kelce.
Vernon Davis.
Jeremy Shockey.
Shannon Sharp.
I actually probably would have known this because I almost drafted him at number 3. But the answer is Kellen Winslow Jr.
There you
What
go.
year?
2004 was drafted number 5 overall.
I had
By
4.
the
Mongols.
The Senators.
Senators. Damn it.
I got 1 point, Chief.
I got 1.
I got 1, 2. 1 point.
Nick,
Olsen, you confused the question.
0.
0.
Because that was the year I
0.
wanted Olsen. I was going to pick up Olsen, and the Hams took them from me right before I was going to pick them. But I was confused on the year. I thought it was 2016.
That was
I had the
exciting.
Lizards taking Olson, but he was on the Lizards for a long time, right?
Yeah.
For a season.
Yeah, he was.
but he only went to the first round.
Couple of seasons.
He seemed to go like in the 13 to 16 range. Those years he wasn't kept.
Okay.
Yeah.
But let me
Great question, Chief.
let me run down a list of the other first round quarterbacks.
Tight
since
end.
2004. So we said Kellen Winslow went number 5 in 2004.
Wow. Damn it.
Jason Witten went number 6 in
Witten.
2005.
I had Witten as the other one. So I got definitely Olsen and Witten. I didn't get the third though.
Vernon Davis went
Well,
number
that's
7
like-
to the Aliens in 2006.
Wow. Nice pick, Sick.
In 2007, Jeremy Shockey went to the Devils at number 9.
I had number 6. I said 2006 and 10th overall to the Devils for Shockey.
Nice memory.
Not bad.
Oh, that is good.
In 2008, Dallas Clark went to the Senators at number 11.
Wow.
Dallas Clark was another guy I had on the list too.
So now, between 2004 and 2008, there's a tight end in the first round every year.
Wow.
Wow.
Since 2008, there have been 3.
Okay.
There was Owen Daniels, number 8 to the Lizards in 2011. Jermichael Finley, number 10 to the Sponge in 2012. And Greg Olson to the Mongols, number 9 in 2017. 2017, the most recent year we have had a tight end.
No, the Ham, wasn't it?
The Mongols.
Mongols.
Oh, the Mongols.
So that seems to be ready to change in 3 short weeks.
I think it's safe to say that it will change.
Two weeks. And
Oh,
change.
there's no question it'll change. Where in
In the first round?
You could see 2 tight ends go in the first.
Good.
I think real quick on tight ends, I think you've got a second tier that includes guys like Noah Fant and Dallas Goedert, and they're probably second round considerations.
Mm-hmm.
Chief, I don't know how much fun it would be, but I think if you extended that exercise and looked at the second round, you'd obviously get a much bigger sample to digest.
Sure.
I believe if I heard you right, the Senators are a team that has taken a first round tight end more than once. I recall them taking Hunter Henry very early a couple of years ago in the early in the second round. That's if you extend that to the second round, you can probably see some bigger patterns about teams that invest in tight ends early on. But we are past an hour now. Hey, Adam, any other burning thoughts on the Lizards, fantasy football, or life?
I am just fucking sick and tired of sitting in my house. And so I'm trying to figure out different things to do. So my thought for you life-wise is if you're stuck in your house like I am, make each part of your house a destination. So you have places to go so that you have different points of view, different things. I am ecstatic. Rich has been to my house. I had this fucking decrepit house next door to me for the last 8 years that it's literally the example of what happens when nothing happens to a house, like caving in and mosquitoes and squatters and all that stuff. They tore the whole thing down this week. There's nothing but a pristine, empty lot next to my house.
Love it.
On top of that,
Congratulations.
yeah, that's huge. And then on top of that, we've done a whole bunch of landscaping all around the house. So we have different destinations all around the house. We've got a little cowboy pool in the back, do a little swimming when we want. Not really swimming, but a dip. So life tip, make destinations in your house. As far as football goes, I think we all want a good draft. We want a safe draft. Nobody gets sick, no COVID. I think these first 5 or 6 picks got thrown up in the air a little bit today. I think there's going to be some talking that happens over the next 24 to 48 hours. Some plans going to shift. But I think ultimately it's not going to shift as far as, you might think. I think there'll be some slight adjustments. But, like you said, Nick is going to be the one who takes it on the chin the most.
Adam, you're scaring me a little bit. Are you coming to the draft?
Yeah, I'm on the fence, to be perfectly honest with you. I have my my immunosuppressor infusion coming up next week, and that puts me at risk. So it's going to be a game time decision. So we'll see.
Okay.
All right.
We love you no matter what.
Hey, thanks. I love you too.
Yeah,
he's coming.
Rich will work his magic.
Well, we absolutely want you there, but you do what's best for you. So
yeah.
Of course.
And yeah, real quick, hell, who cares? We're going to talk for a couple more minutes here. I was talking with Berto and Hank on email earlier this week about some precautions we can take while we're down there. We got to remember there is still a virus going around. We should not be putting certain things to one person's mouth and then handing it off to another person to put to their mouth and things.
Sharing
like
devices, in other words. Yes.
Yeah. So, I know. There goes our plans of putting things to our mouth and handing them to other people to put in their mouths. But yeah, let's be smart, especially if Adam, I sure would love to see you, but we want to be well. But either way, yeah, let's be smart and safe. But I hope we'll have as big a group as possible.
I believe everyone in the TFFL is vaccinated.
I would hope. That's a game breaker for me.
Yeah, I believe every single person has confirmed they're vaccinated as far as I know.
You can't ask those questions, damn it.
Oh, yes, you can.
You can record
now,
that.
especially
Absolutely.
You know
what? At least in Virginia, it's a right to hire state. You can say, Are you vaccinated? You don't want to tell me? Fair enough. You're not getting the job.
Yep.
Nothing illegal about that.
All right. Adam, that is one of the most well-kept beards I've seen.
It's actually literally a this morning thing. Rich can attest. I looked like a freaking sea captain up until like 8 hours ago. It was like
he just trimmed it.
I'm not kidding. It was out to here, and it was like things sticking out of it. There was a bird that was nested in there.
Right.
Yeah. That was this morning, so it's fresh.
I mean, I like
He
it
was
very
holding
much.
my one hitter in it from the Cape for a while.
It's sharp, no doubt. I think I would have liked to have seen the sea captain though.
Mm-hmm.
I would have held on to it. It was so bad. Even Jody, who's the biggest proponent of the large beard, she said to me, "Look, you got to do something about it. And if she's saying it, I got to do it."
Nice.
I think I was probably poking her eye out.
A little extra defense from COVID, perhaps, though.
Yeah, well, I think
You
I'm
just
doing
kinda
it pretty
fold
good.
it up.
Yeah, it's your own.
Yeah.
guy.
Well, if
No
before I
hat?
trimmed it, it definitely would have went up like here.
All right.
And
Hank,
did we notice Chief's new watercolor painting that he's kind of indulged a couple times during the webcast
Yep.
here?
Yeah, I don't love it because it evaporates so fast. I got for my daughter for art stuff. It's great. You can doodle on it. But I think I gotta bring the whiteboard back. It just goes away.
So is that the Zen one that it melts?
Yes.
I like
Yes.
I have to.
Hank, forgive the HIPAA violation, but I wanted to ask Daredevil Luke, how is he doing?
Oh, he's doing fine. He's
Nice.
He's good. He's up and bounced, and
Rub some dirt in it. Yep.
rub some dirt on it. We got school to attend, so get going for school.
All right, good.
Yep.
Okay, well, let's wrap up. Chief, thank you for the trivia questions and answers.
Difficult.
Yep.
Pay
Rich,
your dues.
Yep. Pay your dues. Pay Berto. Rich, thank you for all you continue to do as commissioner. Adam, thank you for joining us on this special occasion.
Thanks for having me.
Good seeing
Hope
you,
to
Adam.
see you in a couple weeks. We'll be back as I think probably one more time, maybe before draft weekend if we can. We'll see, but we're going to see everybody in person very soon.
I feel like there should be a mock draft coming out by the weekend.
I think maybe we need to parlay a mock draft with a post Keeper Day edition, and it may not necessarily be a Wednesday, or it might have to be like a Monday or a Tuesday.
Or
We'll figure it out.
We can do it Sunday night after the
it's
Keeper
Sunday.
Dylan.
Maybe so.
I think we'll sneak in a webcast before the draft, one way or the other. I'll definitely have another mock draft coming out. We've got our annual TFFL pre-draft dinner scheduled coming up next week down here.
What day do I need to schedule that?
That is Thursday, September 2nd. Anybody who wants to come into town and have a nice steak and bottle of wine with us, please do. But if you can't, we'll see you in Myrtle Beach in, what did I say, 18 days?
16.
16 days until we leave for draft weekend. Yeah, 18 days until the draft itself. Berto, I trust we got golf lined up. You're probably playing Thursday.
Yep.
His flight got changed, right?
No, I canceled Spirit, so I'm
Nice.
United in the morning now.
All right, so we got a lot to look forward to. Best time of year, guys. Looking forward to seeing everybody. Looking forward to getting away and being on a beach down there in the warm weather. Looking forward to the draft. Looking forward to it all. Everybody take care, and we'll see you soon.
Later
Bye,
on.
boys.
Can't wait. All right.
Well done.
Wait, where are we at?
Still doing it.
I know we are.
We're still doing it.